Good morning, welcome back to another episode of Cooking with Keith. Today we're going to make a egg and potato frittata. We're going to make some different kinds of pancakes, and we're going to make some French toast for a delicious brunch. Okay, we're going to show you a little technique in slicing the onion. Almost go all the way through this way. There's no perfect way to do this, but we're going to cut it into little pieces. The good thing about this dish is that it feeds about 6 people at least, and it's a one-pot mess. Now that we slice through here, we're slicing through horizontally, and then finally coming down to make nice little chunks that are going to go into our frittata. I'm not as skilled as the people who do this every day. Piece on the side. That's that. We're going to cut up a few mushrooms to throw them in. I rinse these off. Some people like to take the stems out. I kind of like them in there. I think they cook down nicely. Now, if you have some vegetables in the refrigerator laying around, this is what I call clean out the refrigerator type dish. If you have some broccoli, whatever you have laying around in there is good. For example, I have this squash I bought for this, which we're going to throw some in there. But I also have some squash that I cooked yesterday when we were barbecuing on the grill. And I'll probably chop some of that up there. Okay, and let's bring that over to the stove. Okay, so we're going to put a little olive oil in a hot pan. We're going to add a little butter. Butter should be a little softer. Throw it into the pan. We're going to take our chopped vegetables, dump them in there. Smells great. Going to stir that around a little bit. Put them on the low, lock the camera, get some salt, bring out the flavor, a couple of sprigs of pepper. Like I said, it's going to be a one-pan dish, and we'll let them cook down while we get out, slice up some potatoes. When you slice the potato, you try to make it as paper thin as you possibly can. It's going to line the bottom of that pan, and just go nice and easy. Now, this is a beginning classes, so I'm showing you a knife. As you get on and you want some toys to play with in the kitchen, you get a mandolin, which I love to use. And it makes paper thin slices. Okay, so we're going to take a dozen eggs for 12-inch pan. So I break them in to here. Could use a little bit bigger pan. These were jumbo eggs, and it actually makes a difference. This is a little secret. This Bell's seasoning is this is turkey seasoning, but it has everything that you really want, any sort of egg or omelet whatsoever. Scrambled eggs, pop a little of that in there. All you need is a little bit of a fork. And I'm going to add a little milk in here. everything's cooked down very nicely. We're going to take them out of here for now. The oven's been on 350. And I'll put a little more oil in the pan. Here, come across. And now we're going to take our thinly sliced potatoes, hot pan, so watch out, and coat the bottom with the potatoes. It's a good place to cut here. Okay, we got our potatoes in there, we got our eggs in here, we got our veggies here. I like to mix them together. Some people just like to throw them in. I like to mix them together. We got some nice shredded cheese here. Throw that in a little bit, not all of it, I like some on top. Mix it up a little bit. Makes the vegetables kind of even. Then we're going to pour it into the mixture, into this pan, one pot. And a couple of dishes cooking. Looks beautiful. If you want, you can throw some ham or something else like that. Bacon in there, pieces. This is pure vegetarian right now. Some cheese on top. And we're going to stick it in the oven for maybe a half hour to 45 minutes. We'll check up on it in about a half hour. Okay, next thing we're going to make for the breakfast brunch is some pancakes. I'm sorry, I don't believe in the flour and the raising, baking soda and everything else to make it. You can't beat good old-fashioned Aunt Jemima. Some people, if you're from down south, use Bisquick. That's more for me. Tastes like biscuits. But we're going to doctor it up a little bit. So generally the recipe for the mixture is on the box. It's approximately 2-to-1 with some milk and the pancake batter. It says to put oil in there, but I think that's kind of disgusting. So I melt some butter, a couple of tablespoons of the butter, an egg to go in, a little bit of vanilla. You'll see this also with the French toast. Just a little capsule of vanilla. And a little cinnamon, more so for the French toast, but just a little bit in here. I'm going to stir this around. You don't want to stir it too much. You want to try to get most of the lumps out, not all of them, but you don't want to over stir it and over thin it. Otherwise it won't rise as well. You can see we're just kind of getting the lumps out of it. Yeah, like about that. See, it's still loose enough. Okay, let's go over to the oven. Most people don't have a griddle, they just use a big old frying pan of some sort, like this. Any size, depending you want to make it one at a time or what have you. Since I have the griddle, we'll use it. I like to rub a little butter on there. Like that. Spatulas always work best with this. And just, I don't know, depends on what size you have, kids you have. You just make a couple of ones like that. You can try to make a snowman. I used to be able to do. This is like a really bad snowman. Give him a hat. This is a little bit thick. In here, I got some bananas. You could make it all banana, some banana. Go crazy. And a snowman, give him 2 eyes. Give him a belly button. The blueberries on the banana. Give him a little banana belly. I don't know if that's going to work. I'll lose my blueberry. Chocolate chips are always great with kids. I mean, this is not the healthiest breakfast, but we got the frittata in there, the healthy part. More blueberries. And we'll give them a few seconds to cook down until some of the bubbles start getting up and gets brown on the bottom. So the frittata's been in for a little, about a half hour at 350. Let's take a look. Looking pretty good there. I like to poke it with a knife. Make sure it's kind of dry on the inside. Yeah, looks good to me. All right, we'll let that cool down. Our pancakes look like they're ready to get flipped. Kind of bubbled up on the outside. And brown on the other side. Look at that. Nice. That's more like a snow monster. This little bit of the air out. Those are the ugliest pancakes I've ever seen, but we're getting there. And now we're going to work on the French toast. Okay, now we're going to make the French toast. Pay attention because this is going to go very fast. Jake, did you make the prayer over the bread? Jake, Baruch Atoy. Okay.
You don't really do that when you just carving it to make French toast.
Okay, well, we're doing more than making French toast. We're breaking bread with friends. So, we slice up nice thick slices. We're going to make an egg wash. This is going to be very simple. A little milk. Vanilla. Cinnamon. Cinnamon we're going to use again. Break it up. Depends on how many pieces you make, 1 egg, 2 eggs, add another egg, add a little more milk. A little eggy. Okay. Voila, we'll bring it over to the oven. A little butter on the grill. Splish, splash. Wonderful. This guy's falling apart. Soak up that egg. Sometimes put some powdered sugar on there. I like a little more cinnamon. The vanilla gives it some sweetness. Powdered sugar makes it pretty though. Okay, so we have our frittata. Came out very nicely. The potato on the bottom, the vegetables, the cheese. We have our blueberry chocolate chip banana pancakes combination. I had previously cut up some fruit. And we have our French toast. We have our no-name syrup my wife Broomhilda must have bought. And we'll get the makings for a nice brunch. So I hope you enjoyed the show, and we'll see you next time.
This is the aftermath of an episode of Cooking with Keith. A very full compost bucket. Look at all of this food. We ran out of eggs, so we sent Gus to go get more, and now we have to wait like however long it takes to get to the store. But
Okay, ready. Okay, my friend. Just gave my wife all my cake.
But we're gonna. This episode will not be stalled by a lack of eggs. Just pulled the pancakes off the griddle. Sound really good.